Welcome, everybody, from wherever you are viewing. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another live stream here on the Ray Law International channel. Thank you for joining us today. We're just going to do a mic check to make sure that we are connected. I'm going to check with my team. Let's see. Are we all set, ready to go? How's our sound? Mic, everything sound is good. Video's clean. We are ready to go. We're going to give a minute or two for people to join us today. There is so much going on in immigration. We could probably spend about 2 to 3 hours talking about various immigration challenges or changes. We're not going to talk about everything today. You'll be happy to know. However, there are several things that we do want to cover. Let's give us another minute before we get started, and then we'll get started. All right, we have a lot of great things for our entrepreneurs today and startups about some options. And then we'll also chat and talk about some of the recent things that are going on here in the U.S. with our immigration. All right. Good. We got a few more people. Welcome aboard. Welcome, everybody. Again, we're going to get started in just a second. If you have time, just put where you are, touching base from. Are you in the U.S.? What state? What country are you from? We would love to hear from you. Again, during this time, if you have any questions, this is your opportunity, not just to hear me talk about various immigration topics and the latest updates, but if you have a question, put in the chat. We will reach out to you. Either we'll answer it here on this live stream or we'll follow up in a response, whether on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, doesn't matter. We're here for you. We're here to help. All right, I think we are set. Now, today we're going to be diving into a topic that sits on the intersection of innovation and policy, immigration reform, and its impact on startups. Recent changes in U.S. immigration laws has sent ripples through the startup ecosystem, affecting everything from how founders hire talent, to how investors assess risk, to the very pace at which new companies can grow. Startups thrive on agility, talent, and global collaboration. But what happens when immigration policies shift, closing doors, creating uncertainty, or opening new opportunities? In this talk, we'll explore how recent reforms are shaping the future of entrepreneurship in America, and what are the likely visa categories for startups. Now, before we get started, we're going to talk about 3 recent things, but go ahead and put up that photo. About a month or 2 ago in March, I was in Japan for a month doing for business and had the opportunity to attend the Takeoff Tokyo. This is an event for venture capitalists to invest and for people who are doing startups. This is a prime example. I just wanted to let people know that this is out there and there are opportunities for VCs to invest in Asia. It was well attended, a ton of volunteers, a lot of innovation, and it's good to see how many entrepreneurs are out there with wonderful ideas, implementing, moving things forward, and the exciting things that we can see coming in the near future. Thank you. Let's jump into some of the recent changes. Before we get started, here are 3 recent immigration areas I want to touch on before we talk about startups. First, as you may have heard, the U.S. Supreme Court has removed the protection for Venezuelans. That means the government can now continue its process to remove Venezuelans who were previously approved for TPS. TPS is Temporary Protected Status. This is very concerning. Now, while we have always advocated that Venezuelans should take action now and get protections and look at alternatives, there are many, such as asylum. You need to act now. If you are Venezuelan and we're on TPS, and if you have not filed for asylum, Now is the time. Circumstances have changed in the past 6 months where you and your family could be put in danger if you are returned to Venezuela. Alternatively, our government could just send you to El Salvador. I hope not. Make sure you do whatever you can to protect yourself and your family. The second newsworthy is where a college student who was attending college came through a traffic stop and was detained. This just shows you that any foreign national, you are not safe. Your children are not safe from the effort to detain any and all foreign nationals who are not in any legal status, or even if they are in a quasi-legal status such as TPS or have a pending asylum claim. You need to be concerned about yourself and your family. And third and finally, before we get into our talk today, I can't stress this enough. This past week, I have met or talked to too many people who have not taken this administration serious enough. They will deport you and your family. Whether you hear it from me directly here on a video, or whether you hear it from me when you're sitting in jail or you're sitting in court. There are too many times where people have avenues to protect themselves and their family, but they have to spend the money now and invest now to protect themselves. Two quick cases. One of the cases I received this past week was from an individual who had an immigration attorney in New York who failed to notify his client properly, and the person didn't show up for their hearing. Now, most likely, there's some judgment against them that has to be reopened. There's more money, there's more stress, and the person could easily be deported back to their home country when they had an opportunity to protect themselves. Another one is where someone needed criminal records in another state. Instead of calling an attorney, paying that attorney to get it to protect them and their family, they decided to save money and do it themselves. There was a warrant out for their arrest, they got arrested, and now they're sitting in jail. And the problem is that when you're in jail to get out on bond hearing, there is a limited window for you to prepare and get all these documents ready in order to have presented to the judge in order to get released on bond. There are so many things that you can do to protect your family now. If you or your family member or anyone you know is here illegally, make sure they speak with an immigration attorney today. It is so important. It will save you thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. Getting out on bond under the prior administration was anywhere from $3,000 to $10,000 or $20,000 if you had a criminal background to even get out on bond. That's cash. We're not talking 10% of $10,000. That's $10,000. That's just the bond. We're not even talking about attorney's fees. We're not talking about representation in immigration court. It is an expensive venture. Do you want to spend $30,000 in removal proceedings, or do you want to spend a few thousand taking action to come up with a solution to save you and your family? Act now. Okay, guys, let's jump into the first part of our discussion today. Again, if you have questions, this is your opportunity to put those questions. It could be related to immigration and startups, that which we have selected as our topic for this month. Or if you have another question, throw it in the chat. We'll get to it. We'll respond either through the live stream or we'll respond afterwards. So please, please, please reach out. Tell us where you're from. Let us know what is important to you. All right. So the first question that we're going to answer is really focused on the recent changes in the immigration policies, okay, and how they impact startups and entrepreneurs. So recent immigration policies in 2025 are poised to significantly influence entrepreneurship in America, both positively and negatively. On one hand, initiatives aimed at expanding visa pathways for highly skilled immigrants, such as proposed updates to the International Entrepreneurial Rule and potential reforms to startup visa programs, could bolster innovation by attracting global talent. These policies may help foreign-born founders establish startups more easily. contributing to job creation and the growth of emerging industries such as artificial intelligence, clean energy, and biotech. Additionally, streamlining work authorization for dependents and easing green card backlogs for entrepreneurs could further support a stable environment for startup growth. On the other hand, increased scrutiny of employment-based visas such as H-1Bs and Ls, and the potential tightening of immigration quotas may deter skilled immigrants from launching ventures in the United States. Heightened enforcement and uncertainty around immigration timelines could create barriers to entry, pushing talent to more welcoming ecosystems abroad. The net effect on entrepreneurship will depend on how effectively these policies balance national security and labor protections with the need to maintain America's competitive edge in innovation-driven sectors. Now, my honest opinion, I do not see where this current administration has put forth a clear path for growth in our immigration system. The improvements that we really need and would like to see, it is not being put forth. Right now, what we are seeing is really the negative side of immigration. How many people can we deport? How many people can we restrict? How can we keep them out? And that's not the right mentality that we need in our economy to make us strong and to help us grow and to remain competitive. So as we look forward through the next few months, let's see what new policies are being introduced and how are they really impacting innovation and startups. Now we're going to talk about a couple of visa categories, the O and E2, in just a moment. But what about the uncertainty in the global market that we're seeing right now? Uncertainty in the global market can have a profound impact on entrepreneurship in America by increasing risk aversion among investors and entrepreneurs alike. Fluctuations in international trade, supply chains, and geopolitical tensions can lead to hesitancy in launching new ventures or expanding existing ones. Entrepreneurs may find it harder to secure funding as investors become more cautious, and the rising costs of imported goods or materials may strain startup budgets. Additionally, unpredictable shifts in consumer demands, such as myself, both domestically and abroad, can make it challenging for entrepreneurs to plan strategically and scale efficiency. However, global uncertainty can create new opportunities, innovation, and domestic market focus. Entrepreneurs may pivot towards developing more resilient, local source business models that are less dependent on international volatility. The need for agility and problem solving can drive technological advancements, especially in areas like automation, logistics, and remote work infrastructure. In this way, while global instability can suppress certain types of entrepreneurial activity, it can also foster a wave of creativity and resilience in American startup ecosystem. So it is important that our current administration really takes this in consideration as they develop new policies. We're waiting for that. New policies so that it will help drive innovation in the entrepreneurship market. So what I wanted to do is take a minute and look at two visa categories that may be helpful. In fact, a lot of entrepreneurs use these two visa categories. The first one is going to be the O1 visa. We'll look at that briefly and what are the requirements. The second will be the E2. For more information and details about these two categories, reach out to us at 888-401-1016. Again, that's 888-401-1016. Let's dive in. The O1 visa is a visa category for individuals possessing or having extraordinary ability. Under the O1A, it's for those individuals who have extraordinary ability in the sciences, education, business, and in athletics. under the O1B, for individuals under the O1B, extraordinary ability in the arts and motion pictures or television industry. Now, let's look at the O1A. Again, remember, O1A are for individuals with extraordinary ability in the science, education, business, and athletics. Now, the key I want you to remember is when we talk about extraordinary ability, it's not such an extreme high level. The bar is a little bit lower. So if you are more than average, but not the top, you may still easily qualify for the O1A. At the O1A, we have to demonstrate, under the O1A, we have to demonstrate extraordinary ability in the following manner. 1, through a major international recognized awards. Think Nobel Peace Prize. Alternatively, you can have 3 of 8 criterias, including, not listing them all, how about original contribution of significance, published materials, a high salary or compensation, or membership in association requiring outstanding achievements. Under the O1B for the arts, you have to show evidence of a high level of achievement for lead roles in productions, national or international recognition, or commercial success or critical acclaim. Now, under the television and film, under O1B, we have to show extraordinary achievement that is by achieving a significant awards, think Emmy or Grammy, box office success, or reviews and media coverage. So those are some of the ways to, obtain that. Now, the nice thing about the O1A, you still do need a U.S. employer to petition for you or an agent. And when you do that, you usually file with the USCIS. Once it's approved, you will get an approval. If you're in the U.S., you will have changed your status to O1A. Or if you're abroad, you will then take that approval notice and obtain your O1A or O1B, depending on your category. Now, some of the advantages of the O1A. 1, there's no cap. It's no cap annually. You can apply for the O1 anytime, no limit. That's the beauty. That's one of the beauties of the O1A and O1 altogether. The next thing, it can be renewed indefinitely. Next, there's dual intent. You can file for your green card while you hold O1 status. And there is a flexibility for freelance and consulting work via an agent. So those are the benefits of the O1. I'm going to check to see if we have any questions. Absolutely. Feel free. Let us know where you're from. Go ahead and tell us your country or city or state, just so we know where you're from. It's good for the group to know who's listening and where people are listening into from around the world. Now, finally, our last topic is the E-Visa. We're going to focus specifically under the E2. There's 2 others, the E1, which is treaty trader, and E3 for Australian nationals. We're not going to talk about those today. We're going to focus on the E2 visa category. Now, under this visa category, as I mentioned, it is for investors. Treaty investors, you do have your country does have to have a treaty in place. Hopefully all these treaties will stay in place with the current administration, but the treaty has to authorize the E2 visa category. When we confirm that you are from a country that authorizes that, and the nice thing about this is you have to be a citizen of that country, not a national. So if you think, for example, if you're an Indian national and you become a Australian citizen, you can qualify for the E2 visa. So you can get a citizenship in a country where E2 is available. Also, an alternative is Canada. You can go become a citizen in Canada and then utilize the E2 visa. Now, under the E2 visa, some of the general requirements: 1 is the nationality or citizenship that we just talked about. 2 is the investment. The investment must be substantial. With the E2, there is no specific dollar amount. It just depends on the business. If you have a huge manufacturing plant that to be built in Oklahoma, for example, and that manufacturing investment would cost you $5 million, then the investment of $400 million with $100 million in loans is substantial, and it's at risk. The business has to be real and operating. You can start your own business, and this is where the new startups would apply, or you can buy an existing business, which is the owner has to be in control or own more than 51%. And there's certain categories of responsibilities. It could be a directorship or director, it could be a managerial position, or it could be a person that is essential to the operations of the business. As mentioned earlier, you have to have an intent, a risk intent. I'm sorry, your investment has to be at risk, excuse me. We're not doing criminal law. And then finally, the E2 is the two benefits. One, it is indefinite, meaning you can stay in E2 forever. You just renew, which is great. But also you have to keep in mind that E2 is not dual intent. Okay, that means if you start the green card process, you may be landlocked. There's ways to deal with it. Don't worry, we have solutions, but there is ways to keep the individual here so that he or she and their family can go ahead and get their green card and stay here permanently. So these are some of the options for startups and entrepreneurs that you can use in the US. Now, if you're curious about whether your country qualifies, is one of the countries that is eligible for the E2, send us an email, let us know. It is public information, but we can also help guide you and get you ready for the process. Another thing I always tell all individuals, whether you're under the O or in this case a startup, O1 or the E2, put together a business plan. When you come to any immigration attorney, the first thing you want to give to them is your resume and a business plan. Whatever it takes, submit both of those when you meet with an immigration attorney. That way we can quickly assess and guide and understand what your business process is. Business plan should be a 1, 3, 5 years, even if you're buying an existing entity. An existing entity could be even more beneficial because there's going to be some financial documents that are available. All right, guys. That's what we have today for our live stream here on the Ray Law International channel. Just a quick recap. Right now, we don't have a lot of positive policies that are going to help startups other than what we have right now. The tools we have right now that a lot of startups use or entrepreneurs use are the O1 and the E2. A couple we did not talk about today was the L Visa and the EB5 entrepreneur investor. We'll save that for another topic, or you can check out one of our other videos on our YouTube channel where we talk about those visa categories. Feel free to check those out. If there is a topic that you would like to talk about or hear, please put that in the chat, send an email. The information is going to be on the screen. Make sure we put that up there so people can call or email and let us know what is on your mind. What are your concerns about immigration? Maybe you're for immigration, maybe you're against immigration. Let us help you understand how immigration is vital to the success of America in this international competitive market. I want to thank my crew and everyone for getting this ready, and we look forward to touching base and seeing you in June. All right, everyone, have a great holiday weekend for those in the United States. And that is all for now. Again, my name is Anthony Ray here at Ray Law International, and thank you for joining us on the Ray Law International channel live stream. Take care.